coast to coast on the brush. And this one is going to come up
short.
light.
Wow.
So an opportunity lost there for Korey Dropkin.
I don't think anybody saw that happening, at least not for him to not hit the rings. I don't know that you want to come that close to that corner, but you could roll low for force. But I don't think you want to risk it. So I think they're pretty much going to be safe with this, and you'll see them rolling open. And I mean, Dropkin is going to get a blank, most likely.
Well, at this point, I think Ryan Wiebe is just kind of breathing a sigh of relief. So I don't think he's going to take any extra risk on this shot. I'm pretty happy to give Korey that blank instead of dropping the 2.
Got that Manitoba tuck, so that's always good to see.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Don't really even need to see the guy's birth certificate to know what province he's from. Rolls it right onto the button area. Korey Dropkin, with a bit of disgust, drops the brush beside the target rock. He's still pretty upset at himself for missing that draw.
That's a missed opportunity for sure. You don't get many of those where you can have a really easy deuce in a game. You might never get another one, really. You might have to work for a deuce at that point, but they had it and came up just short. He's gonna still keep hammer for the second end, so it's not all lost, but
it's a cliche, but it's so true. As an athlete, you need to have a really short memory. You can't get that one back, so you just have to focus on the execution on the next shot. It's important that Korey throws a clean one here, but no, stuffs it.
I know it.
It's a disaster first end for Korey Dropkin. Single point for Team Dropkin, but it's a point they didn't want after one end of play here in Swift Current. Dropkin leads it 1-0.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Welcome back to Swift Current. You're enjoying the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. C qualifier game. Ryan Wiebe of Manitoba taking on Korey Dropkin of the USA. Tough first end for Korey. Missed an open draw to set up a 2, and then to add insult to injury, beaked a blank attempt. So we got the single point. They have the lead, but they give up the hammer. Ryan Wiebe will have the hammer here in end number 2. Hans Rounham along with Phoenix SNN. Phoenix, tough start for Korey.
Yeah, I mean, he just underthrew his first rock, came up short of splitting the rings, which would have given him a fairly simple shot for his deuce, and then he stuck the peel attempt to try and blank. So it is a tough start, but the starting with hammer, and he still got one, so it's not like he still has the lead. Obviously, he lost hammer, but you know, you gotta, like you said earlier, you gotta have a short memory and just, you know, start over from that point on and just make, especially for Korey himself, like just make your next 2 shots and, you know, get the force rate back, and then it's you got the hammer and you're tied. So like it's not all lost. Obviously, it's the first end only. So I guess it's the best time to make those 2 shots.
Yeah, completely agree. Adam Flat setting corner guard quite wide and quite high. Maybe so high that may not be particularly usable for Ryan Wiebe.
They've also traded a hit in the side there, so at this point, Korey could have peeled the corner guard if he wanted to, but they're decided to put a little more pressure on it. They're just playing towards the middle, which I think that Ryan with the high guard would have done anyways. I don't think he can use that corner. That one slips deep.
Yeah, very deep.
A rock deep like that is almost act like a guard, if you think about it. It's like there's a guard in front, there's a guard behind it. So there's enough stuff in play for Ryan to build something.
Sean Flat lines it up.
See, he throws flat foot, so I would require him to show me his IDs from Manitoba.
Yeah, that's kind of like a yellow card, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, not sure. He rolled out on the high side. That's going to give Korey a free chance to draw around the center guard.
Sean asking his brother Adam what happened. But the result.
Oh, that's right, the brothers too. I play with my brother as well. It's always a fun little thing going on.
The sport of curling, definitely a sport for families.
Right, yeah. I play men's play with my brother. I play mixed doubles with my girlfriend, Lori, from George, as most people know. But yeah, it's good. It's the sport you could do that way. You can also just enjoy yourself at the club. But like I've played with and against my father, my mother. It's just there's not many sports that you can do that, and it's a really fun experience.
You're absolutely right. So Team Dropkin have got their stones really on a line along the center line here. Very well lined up.
This one will be flying.
So we're going to see some of that Manitoba smoke from Sean Flat.
I think he has over curled it, yeah.
Just rips the top, opens it up.
I think the problem here for Korey, though, is he's guarding a rock that's back button. So at any moment, the Wiebe team could sort of switch gears and just draw in there and be shot rock. And then if they have enough space, they could draw for 2 at the end and get their deuce this way. So it's always weird. You're guarding a rock that's behind the tee, but at this point they've got no choice but to do so. They could split the rings maybe and just hope to grab a force. But with the hitting power of a Manitoba team like that, I don't think you want to split the rings too early either, because there's one double away from just blanking. They'll replace the guard.
Shot from Andrew Stopera.
Oh, there you go. See, now they're drawing.
Exactly what Felix previewed.
It's a little higher. The guard's a little higher, so you got even more room to sort of chase that yellow. They're even trying to tap it, like I said, to create a little more room for a second rock to score at the end. So as much as it's a yellow guard and 2 yellows at the back, it's still like a good opportunity for red.
There's a left-handed Manitoba tuck from Tal DeLello. Looking to push this one back a couple of feet.
Working hard on it.
Yeah, the brother's flat going coast to coast. This one is going to be life and death to make it to the rings. Just outcounts the one in the back ring, so that's the small consolation prize, but they do block the path to the shooter in the process, and they won't be very happy about that.
No, plus it acts like a nice guard on that yellow rock. You could also loop another one like they're calling right now, and then you got 2 buried. As much as it is in the rings, it would be better without it.
Korey Dropkin holding the brush for Andrew Stopera. Looking to whip one around the pile. Trying to set it right on the pin. Sweepers are saying top 4 tee, so it's in the neighborhood. This one seems to have a bit more legs than that.
This is close.
Jumps on it.
Oh, they're go
around it, calling an audible. Yeah. And all the way to the back ring.
It's gonna leave the same shot for Ryan though. Like he's still draw in there and be shot rock.
So Tal DeLello getting a bit of a shot of redemption here, coming up short on the attempted freeze bump on his first one. Gets a chance to bail himself out if he can loop one around here and sit it in front of the shot rock.
A bit of a hard time finding draw weight, I find, over the first 2 ends. I mean, there's the guard that Korey threw, a couple of heavy stones, a couple of light stones in this second end. So at this point, it's almost like the team that's going to find draw weight first could be in a big advantage. This is also heavy. Going to bounce off a fair amount.
Just grazing the shot rock going by, but leaves it sitting 1. They do spill for second shot, so Tal DeLello just didn't range in. Bit heavy.
That almost had hack weight.
Yep. I did notice, I called a lot of games yesterday, and in today's game, just feels to me like there might be a couple feet more weight and pace, but not a lot. But I think you're right, Felix. Certainly trying to dial it in early, especially with so many rocks in play. Pretty crucial.
Yeah, I mean, draw is always... I mean, the rocks were sharpened before, so they're obviously really aggressive. And with time, I mean, they get a little more dull. They still curl a great amount, but then they tend to start gaining speed towards the end of the events because they're just not as sharp anymore. So maybe this is what we're starting to see. Obviously, they were probably heavy as well, but it tends to happen over the course of a weekend and an event where at the end of the weekend, you got just less curl, but then more speed, and it could fool you.
Korey Dropkin, after coming up short on his draw in the first end, trying to get down into the 4-foot area, coming up full 8.
Much better. Probably a rock we can use on the next one too. Maybe top it a couple feet, inches at least.
Very good position for that rock for Team Dropkin. Very annoying for Team Wiebe.
Yeah, as much as Wiebe wants to score, I mean, they got to make sure, as much as they want to score a deuce, they need to make sure that they got a chance for scoring 1.
So what do you think their best recipe for making sure that they score 1 actually is, Felix? Would it be playing into the 4-foot area like they're playing, or would you think about blowing up the center guard and rearranging the pile? What do you think is the safest bet to try and score from here for them.
I like what they're doing. I like the draw. It comes with the bonus that if Korey doesn't make his next draw, then you could get 2, and it's the only shot to get 2. Whereas the peeling the center guard into the top 12 to try and get the other rock is definitely not a gimme. Like, you need to move all 3 of your rocks for it to even be worth it.
Yep.
So I like this. It's he can find draw weight with this as well. So still just a draw to the 4-foot, as much as like with all the other rocks it looks a little different, but it still almost looks like a draw to the for the hammer. It's the same thing really. Looks to have a lot of weight.
Adam Flat now sweeping for curl. Gets a piece, pushes it back into the 8-foot, so they are shot. They hit it a little bit on the high side, and so they have left it available as Korey Dropkin eyes it up. Korey should be able to squeeze that out and maybe get a little inside flop.
You could get to the back button with this, and it's going to be hard to make a draw that's going to be better than this rock. The only thing you don't want to do is try too hard and flip the top red, and then it's if you hit this on the nose, you got your force. So you play for the nose, and if it comes into after the second hog line and you feel like you've got a good line, then maybe you do curl it, but don't touch that red rock.
Yep, the roll's a bonus and a crash is fatal.
It's a lot easier to say from here than it is to actually do it, but you almost want to throw for nose, and if you end up over curling it by an inch, then you get a really good result out of it.
So Korey just taking an extra moment here before he delivers and locking it in. The weight that he wants to throw in this shot, it's going to be delicate.
Working hard on it already.
Dropping the weight, of course, is going to move more. It's going to be flirting with that red, and it is all over it by the looks of it. So the early game woes continue for Korey Dropkin. Rex on that front red repositions them.
Don't think this is shot for 3, but like I said, you couldn't touch that guard, and he almost even hit the long guard, like the yellow guard. Not sure what happened there. Korey doesn't normally miss by that big of a margin, so I don't know if something happened to that, but plus he never really had any weight. I don't know if he would have even removed that red rock with that weight.
So golden opportunity here for Ryan Wiebe.
Yeah, that's two bullets that's been dodged by Ryan, and you can even have a 2-1 lead after this.
Final shot of end number 2 is on its way for Ryan Wiebe. Looking to cash in on the misfortune of Korey Dropkin and punish it. And this one's tracking a bit. It's got a lot of curling to do.
I think the backing is probably going to be good for that one, though.
Yeah.
He's
using his own as a saver. No problem there. Into the 4-foot for a second point. So Ryan Wiebe moves out to a 2-1 lead over Korey Dropkin after 2 ends of play here in Swift Current.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next curling stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea? Great idea. Let's talk more about next year. I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back to Swift Current. And number 3 in the C qualifier game. Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Shootout. Thanks to the folks from Manitoba that have pointed out that I have been mispronouncing Ryan's name, so it's Ryan Wiebe. So apologies to the good people of Manitoba, and we will get that right from here on out. Enjoying a 2-1 lead over Korey Dropkin. Hans Franlov along with Felix Asselin. And Felix, it was really kind of a gift too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 ends have looked a certain way up until Skips Rocks, and they just flipped around for Skips Rocks. So, yeah, it was a bit of a gift. I don't think he expected to have an open draw for 2. I think he was almost scared that he would probably have to give up a steal had Korey rolled to the back button there, but he got away with a deuce and a 2-1 lead. He's already sort of flipped hammer around. You know, he didn't start with it. After 2 ends, it's already flipped around, or unless that Dropkin scores 2 here. But well, that's a great start for the Wiebe team. It's textbook so far.
After Adam Flatt feathered the come-around attempt on the center guard, Thomas Howard being asked to go out to the wing. Seeing more and more of this play, the back quad, as the Americans like to call it, Felix. Is this a tactic that you're seeing more of as well as you're playing competitively? Going to that back corner?
I don't know that we see it more than we used to. I mean, it's more of a tactic that you use when the other team doesn't make their freeze. Because if you do, like, they could have drawn an intern there and sort of have 2 yellows in the middle, but then the run back comes in and there's a chance that both get removed. So by putting one on the side there, it sort of, you know, eliminates a run double, or it's really hard to make one. And, you know, you split the rings, you got a yellow that's sort of there on the side, you're just daring them to hit, but it's already a good start.
Sean Flatt with the run back.
Shot. Yeah, that's a good shot. Rolls in front of it too.
Exactly right.
So I wouldn't say that we see it more than we used to, but yeah, there's a couple. It happens on a couple of occasions. Obviously, there was a miss that crashed on the center guard, but there's also, like, if they freeze to a rock that's like top 8, which puts them in the 12-foot, you could still do it. Like, even if they've made the freeze, you just, you know, lob a draw on the side, and you're sitting 2, sort of forces them to hit it. It's just it's almost like a decoy.
Right. If I put it back there, maybe nobody will notice.
Yeah.
Mark Venner lining it up. Be asked to whip one around the pile. Korey's put the hat on. Maybe it's a rally cap.
I mean, coming down the sea, you must have played a lot of curling lately, so you do need a rally cap.
Well, there's a very, very nice shot by Mark Fenner. Fully buried. Ryan Wiebe, no hesitation, putting the brush right on the center line. Said, Sean, you made the straight run back last time. Have another crack.
Yeah, I don't know if they're tempted of dropping the weight a bit and maybe sticking it there, right there, if they ever can get the right angle. They seem to be throwing a lot of weight, but they're not. No, they're not. I like this weight choice. I really do. It's you're not going to stick around very often with a big peel.
This one's got to curl up a bit, though. It's going to blast it through the hole, right through the uprights. Opens it up.
I actually got the other yellow.
Did pick it off.
A bit of a fortunate result there because they could have got the red rock.
Third end to play. Dropkin half hammer here. Andrew Scalpera asking Mark Fenner to peek this one, keep some separation.
Need to curl.
If there's somebody you want to try to make a rock curl, it's probably Korey Dropkin with the brush, but even he can't get it to move enough to stick around and stay in the rings, and that one will spill.
It looks fairly straight with hit weight. Like it's not busting hard, or at least not with the weight they just threw, which looked like something like board or control-ish. Looks fairly straight, so if you're a little out there, it's hard to bring those back.
Ty DeLello struggling with his draw weight, but has a chance here to throw a hit.
If I'm correct, he's got 2 corners to roll behind, so like a wide, yeah, it's like a big wide corner, so there you go.
He puts it right in the middle of those 2 wide corners. That is perfectly hidden. Very nice roll.
Now running a red into a red.
Never a great feeling running your opponent's stones in, but sometimes you have no choice. Always the risk of a jam and leaving your opponent covered.
Yeah. That hit and roll rolled to a perfect spot. There's nothing else they can do than to run that red rock.
Andrew Scalpera just blows it by. Papered it going past, and that red rock survives. Andrew's wondering what might have been. Looks like Ryan Wiebe is asking Ty to come up with the Colleen Jones Christmas tree, half around, half around.
The right time of the year for that too.
Absolutely, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yeah, other than the fact that in New Zealand it's a lot warmer of a Christmas than it is here.
There's Christmas in New Zealand, there's Christmas all over the world.
I thought maybe they would split rings instead of this, but kind of works the same.
Let's sneak it half around. Stone delivered nearly fully buried.
I think they can make the run double at this point.
And those stones just a little bit too close together.
That was the only reason I thought about maybe they would split the rings to the other side. They make it correctly, there's no double and there's no way of really making your next shot to be a double. So whereas this one, if you really wanted to, you could probably hit close to nose on that guard and they all fly. But it's a good shot nonetheless. I mean, they're lying 2, and there's still going to be a guard for the next rock at the very minimum if there's not at least a red that sticks around.
So a lot of discussion between Korey and Andrew. And they have arrived at the run back as the shot they want to play. Here it comes. looking to hit it flush on the nose. And there they go. Great shot from Andrew Stopera. But as you said, Felix, they have left the guard up.
Yellow now, though, so they can run it again next time. And the second it clips it, it's a yellow guard. It's a great shot. That was a really good shot he just made. I needed a perfect angle to get all three. So, but not out of trouble, though. The force is still on if they can make 2 more of those.
Now, what I'd like to know, if we get a shot of Ryan as he gets ready to deliver this stone, he's got a green corn broom, and I'm wondering who is still making corn brooms in 2023.
I'm pretty sure that's an old one he bought somewhere, but I don't think anybody is still making corn brooms.
Check that out. I mean, looks like you could swing that corn, and you could still kind of go, Vic Peters style, make the corn fly.
The one thing I'm wondering is, wasn't there like a new rule that was requiring somebody to have a corn broom wrapped?
Well, speaking of, that one picked. Very unfortunate. Part of our sport. Sometimes a rock will catch some debris.
Yeah.
And change direction.
That went totally sideways, like it hit a wall.
It's a very bad break there for Ryan Wiebe.
Especially
back
now
to
that
your point, Felix,
around the corner.
No, you're right. I mean, there are certainly rules in the sport around delivery devices. They don't have to be wrapped, but if you're sliding with the device like the one that Ryan is, what you absolutely can't do is sweep with it, of course.
I just thought maybe there was a rule. I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't slide with a corn broom or anything like that, but I thought there maybe was a rule. So, like a guy like BJ Neufeld now has this sort of a black cover around his.
Yep.
Sort of same for Matt Dunstone. So I don't know. Maybe there is a rule. Not too sure. But that was probably just bad timing. I just said that. And then it was a kick, but probably just luck or bad luck, really.
Bad luck, yeah. Very bad luck indeed.
Chance for 2 now for Korey. If he makes this.
So after having some problems with execution, Korey Dropkin looking to take advantage of a little bit of misfortune suffered by Ryan Wiebe on the pick. That one nestling its way in there comfortably behind cover, so that'll help Korey's confidence. That's position A. Very nice shot.
Yeah, you couldn't put that any better. If you were to place it with your own hands, that's exactly where you'd have that rock. So I don't know. Maybe you tried corner freeze this but still be shot, but it's got to be really on the corner to still be biting that 4-foot. So. Tough shot, tough little shot for Ryan. He could look at the running that guard. It's almost as hard than it is to corner freeze that.
Well, I guess the thinking is, you missed the run. It's the easiest of 2s, and if you try the corner freeze and you don't make perfect, at least you cut the rings down a little bit. But, maybe they have settled on the run after all.
I think you're just thinking that the other team won't miss an open shot to the 4-foot, so you want to take it into your own hands and make your shot. I mean, if they make this this run and they don't stick it yellow into yellow, then they will have the blank. It's a guaranteed that they do have it. So at least it's into their hands of making that shot. Whereas the corner freeze is already hard in the first place, and even if you do, the other team still gets 2. Or you'd have to really be on a really small angle of that yellow to still be shot. So I think this is the easiest of the 2 of them.
Ryan Wiebe suffering the pick on his first stone. Trying about an 8-foot run to try and pick the stone off the edge of the 4-foot. Huge weight. Hammers it, plants it, sticks around. So even though he threw it at vapor trail speed, just plants it and stuffs it. So it will be a free draw for 2 for Korey Dropkin. And a wry smile in the background from Ty DeLello. You could try that 10 times and that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's also unfortunate. With the weight that was coming in, it had to be exactly on the nose of that second rock to stay in the rings. But that's exactly what he did. So a chance to get it back and a chance for redemption for Korey. The first 2 ends did not go their way, or at least not his way. It looked like they were doing good until they weren't. But chance to get it all back here and grab the lead again.
Just needs to hit the paint. Howell and Fenner on it out of hand.
Pretty routine here. They're just walking it in there. Korey wasn't going to come up short twice.
Exactly. Very nice shot from Korey Dropkin. Full 8-foot into the top of the 4-foot to cash in the pair. So teams trading pairs here early in this C qualifier game. Korey Dropkin now leads at 3-2 as we head for the 4th end in Swift Current.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes and you have to build your team and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, that we can fix it before it affects our customer.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
Local commentators, but
right.
We are back in Swift Current, and thank you for joining us. We are at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown, 4th end of play. Ryan Wiebe and Korey Dropkin. This one's gone back and forth, and there have been uncharacteristic misses. There have been a bit of bad fortune. And Ryan Wiebe picked up on his first shot in the prior end. And they take hammer here into end number 4. Hans Frauenlob here with Felix Asselin. Really enjoying your company, Felix, and your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying doing this. This is my first day of curling commentating ever. I've done only one game earlier today with my friend Sam Steeb from Ontario. So, yeah, I've been really enjoying myself doing this. I think I still like playing a little better. So I won't be into the booth anytime soon, but I'm enjoying my Saturday, meeting new people and just talking curling.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure this won't be your last appearance behind a microphone, Felix, but yes, we're very happy to see you on the ice competing and playing with such distinction.
Yeah, I just love playing curling. I'd play every weekend if everybody allowed me to, but it's always been my thing. I just love it.
Pretty evenly poised game now.
Yeah, I mean, so far I find this game is a bit of a grind for both teams. It's not been perfect, but this is exactly what you want to see from a C qualifier. It's two teams grinding it out and making some nice shots, and good for us. We've got a close one.
Yeah, it's almost like a game of Survivor, isn't it? You're fighting your way to kind of stay on the island.
I used to watch that show a lot. I watched it for God knows how many years.
But yeah, sometimes when you kind of come up with an ugly win in a qualifier, it's more memorable than kind of skating your way through the A all the way to the podium.
I'm not sure it's the case, but maybe some or all of those teams that are in the C played 3 times today. So it's definitely possible that this is their third game, and sometimes those are tiring games. The first 2 are really impacting the third one, so it's it is a grind. But the team that wins this, like I said earlier, is through to tomorrow, into the money, into the points, into everything. So it's worth it. You just got to put your mind into it for a third time today.
Sean Flatt delivers. Yes, the winner of this game will enjoy their refreshment tonight. That is for sure. And then reset to do it all over again tomorrow.
Against a team that hasn't played all day.
That's right.
Not sure what there is to be seen in Swift Current, but they must have went somewhere.
The 2 Weebstones sitting front 8 foot, side by each.
They won't be sitting there for too long. Pretty sure they'll be flying right there.
Anders Tappera holding the brush for Mark Venner. He's going to have to squeak the guard to make, but it is makeable. Not laying a brush to it yet. This one is well clear of the guard. Removes one, spills inside, gets a tiny little bit of an overlap on the red and nudges it a fraction.
Surprised he didn't come to, I mean, he was trying to double, but I expected him to be really close on that and flared it a little wide, and with that weight, there's no chance it comes back. Not bad though, like he's still been on that, a bit on an angle on that red rock.
Creating a little bit of puzzlement for Ryan Wiebe. Sean Flatt stands up in the hack, and we're going to have a bit of a conversation about contact point and the weight you want to throw.
I guess you're debating on if you're hitting this high side and sort of spreading your 2 reds around, or if you're trying to play hard for the low side so that you do remove the yellow rock and you sort of line another one behind the center. Not sure which one they picked.
It's kind of nice to have the option. Either of those 2 results would be pretty good for Team Wiebe.
Yeah, you just don't want to nose, basically.
Right.
Because then you're probably giving up away a double right back. This looks tight.
Adam Flatt jumped it right out of hand, and this one is all over the guard. Korey Dropkin comes out to sweep it off line.
That looked tight all the way.
Could that be a situation you were just speaking, Felix, about teams playing multiple games? Is that just a tired slide?
I don't know. It's definitely possible, but those teams are young and fit and stuff like that, so I'm pretty sure they're ready to play a third game in a day. It's not a problem for them normally, so I just think he probably slid a little tight on that one, and then it's this ice curl, so.
So the guard is gone.
Weirdly, it's a hard red to remove.
It's in an awkward place for Anders Tappera.
And he's going to throw a big weight.
Great look at it from the delivery end. Watch the rock fly.
There you go. Needed that weight to get that out. There was not much other way of removing that red, even if it wasn't guarded. It was hard to remove it with anything else than peel weight.
So Stompera gets the job done. Still corner guards up for Ryan Wiebe.
Probably can make the double and roll in this one.
Ty DeLello lining it up.
Doesn't Ty have a brother as well?
He may do.
I think he does. I feel like there was another DeLello before.
Makes the double, gets a little bit of a roll, doesn't get underneath cover, but he does remove both of the Dropkin stones. He thinks we can still get inside on that one and duck under cover. It would be so tight to the guards that would turn the run into almost a potential jam, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to roll all the way behind here because say you do and you slightly over-roll it, it's a fairly easy double anyways, and you don't ever want Ryan to decide to draw around everything anyways, so maybe you're better off just nosing this and trading hits. You've got the blank if you're Korey at this point.
Now sweeping for Curl, so he is looking for just a fraction
just like
of
that. I
inside
think that's
roll.
actually better than rolling all the way behind.
Yeah, leaves it in a good place, chokes off the come around.
Have to hit the open rock. So yeah, I think that as much as you would think that rolling behind would be great, first of all, it's such a short run. If they decide to make the double, they most likely make it. But if you rolled behind, say, like the middle of the two guards, maybe Ryan just changes gears and just draws instead, and he could get two still. So
yep,
this is pretty much the better roll they could have made.
Ty DeLello is in turn, left-hander.
That's right, that was an intern.
Hits and spills, goes out to the outside part of the rings.
Apparently we need to say counterclockwise and clockwise now.
Exactly. That's it.
I find those hard. I feel like I have to
school.
think about a clock every single time I need to say it.
Totally.
I still say intern and outturn.
Yeah, me too. The officials tell me that all the time at curling competitions, counterclockwise, don't want to be discriminatory against the left-handers. Well, no, but, left-handers can throw out turns too. It just goes the different way.
I just call them inside outs and outside ins, I guess.
Well, we can call it as a shot well made for Ty DeLello. He's spilled it all the way over to the wing and takes the play away from the guards. Mark Fenner trying to hold line here.
Good shot.
Drops into the 8-foot. Nice shot.
Would you ever be tempted to rolling all the way across?
Boy, oh boy, it's a long roll, but it is pretty high in the house. There's not a ton of risk in that, is there?
Well, you don't want to roll out because then it's Korey's coming in behind this corner, so you want to stick around. You definitely want to be in the rings after this shot.
No doubt about that.
You're already hitting like half rock to even roll behind all the yellows, the two corners, so you don't want to hit a third and roll out. So I don't know. I'd be tempted at just nosing this. I think take your blank and move on. Don't want to roll out, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe if it's later in the game, you think of just ducking around the corner yourself and trying to manufacture two that way. But in this situation, early, Ryan is electing to play the open hit. The brothers flat, guiding this one towards its target, right on the nose.
Yeah, they went for the nose there. They didn't go for any roll. Korey can, okay. He can try as hard as he wants. Even if he rolls out, it's still just a blank, so you can throw a bit more weight and try and half rock and roll all the way across, and you'll see a force if that happens. If not, then we got ourselves to blank.
Felix, we often have really interesting discussions in this sport around what's the kind of weight to throw when you're trying to make about a 6 or 7 foot roll like this. What would you like in this situation for best chance of making the shot?
I mean, I think you need to increase the weight on this one, obviously, because it's a long roll. But it's whatever weight you feel confident in throwing. Maybe something like control instead of board. Well, you'd throw a bumper weight if you were trying to stick it, but now that you're trying to roll all the way across, I think you would throw control.
Control.
You could look at throwing inside out, and Korey's intern, just because you get a little more action with that kind of spin than you do off the out turn. But it's a free try, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Out there, so it's probably going to look to be a blank.
Thomas Howell trying to promote curl there at the end. Gets a little bit of inside roll, but sits right in the open for Ryan Wiebe. So blank attempt coming up. Saw Korey Dropkin beak a blank attempt in the first end. I don't wish any ill will on Ryan. It seems routine, but sometimes is not.
It's weird how many, like, you feel like you should make 100% of those, but you don't. So everybody misses those once in a while.
Mentally, you're always thinking when you're in the hack in this situation, can't gas it. So sometimes you subconsciously pinch it and you wind up beaking. No beak there from Ryan Wiebe. Perfectly executed peel for the blank end. So we head to the halfway point in this C qualifier game. It's a really tight one, a very exciting contest. Korey Dropkin leads it by a score of 3-2.
I've got the bill.
Well, now I've got the tip.
Standard tip increased 2% this year.
That's why I keep you around. So, corn's looking great.
Well, our crop plan is working.
And we locked in that input financing at the perfect time.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough?
Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
An English stream game.
Welcome back. We are here in a Swift Current C qualifier game, and it is a dandy. Lead Korey Dropkin. Tight contest. Dropkin with a 3-2 lead. Lead blanking the fourth. Carrying hammer here into end number 5. Glad you're with us. Hans Fraunlub along with well-known Quebec and Canadian curler, Canadian mixed curling champion Felix Esselin. Felix, really anybody's game from here. As you said earlier, it's a bit of a grind, but somebody's going to prevail.
Yeah, but those are sometimes the best games too. The little you're a little scrappy, and you're really grinding to make shots that sometimes you feel like you make automatically. But it's given us a good game so far. There's been rocks in play every end. The last one was a blank, but there was still the 2 corners that could have been used at any moment. So far so good. Now we have 3 guards, and that was a missed shot from that draw, but it's been creating a lot of offensive play. So I'm good with that.
Me too. A little overlap. Andrew Stopera asking Mark Fenner. Those overlap guards to whip one around it. Korey Dropkin pivoting now to try and sweep for curl. Looking to sink this one between and behind the overlap.
That's a good shot.
And that is a good
Top
shot.
4.
Ryan Wiebe eyeing it up.
So he's trying to find the angle that he can hit that red rock hard into the yellow, and it'll spin hard, and it'll just stop spinning into the rings, which then means that the yellow rock will be wide open, and then there will be a red rock in the rings. So he's trying to find that angle. You don't want to hit it too thin there, else the red just stays there as a good guard, and you don't want to hit it too much on the nose, or else you lose the red rock. He's just trying to find that angle, and there is an angle where you can make sort of both shots.
Trying to hit the red rock on the high side, about 3/4, do you think, Felix, and get that spin you're talking about?
If I had to be precise, I think I would say 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3/4 you'll lose the red, it'll go through. It also depends on what weight they're throwing.
Exactly that.
It doesn't seem like they're throwing too much weight, so maybe 3/4 is the right weight.
Idolella now sweeping for curl. They are definitely trying to save the red one, but this one has got a ton of curling to do. It's just going to punch the yellow sideways and leave the red stone sitting squarely on the center line. Andrew Stopera says, "Thank you very much. We will stack them and rack them," asking for a long center guard. Mark Fenner. After making that very nice come around on his first shot, now has to dial it back about 20 feet to try and throw a long guard. That can be a really hard adjustment to make.
Those long guards are hard. Because you look like a fool if you hog it, and then if you throw it too close to the rings, it's an easy double peel. So they are hard. Like, as much as you think that they're the closest rock you could throw to the thrower's perspective, but like a good old guard that's a foot over the hog line is hard to make.
Absolutely. Good credit to the players that can make that adjustment, because you're throwing a number that you are not accustomed to throwing very often. There's a draw weight. Sean Platt being asked to rearrange things in the front of the house. Single peel.
They didn't throw much weight on that. That's obviously the reason it overcurled, but I thought they would throw a little more weight. So Same situation, just one rock later. So still good, still very good for Korey.
Andrew Stopera now down to the delivery end. Calls the game for Team Dropkin, but throws it to third position. Fenner and Hell on the brushes. Andrew's turn to try the long guard. Korey says lay off, sweeper say no way.
There you go. I was
The
just saying what I
consequence.
say.
Yep.
I should stop talking.
Well, that is a hard shot, right? Because you know, if you throw it mid, you throw it tight, you've probably taken yourself out at the end. So psychologically, you're thinking, just pull it back a little bit. You pull it
Yeah,
back a
he
little
just
bit too
tried-
much, and that happens.
He tried too hard to get it just over the hog line, and he forgot to throw it.
Yep.
Now it's back to being sort of neutral. Still need to make a run back, but there's only always going to be one guard, so.
Delello trying to plant one straight back. Overcurling a fraction, but he's going to get a piece and remove the stone. He's got enough momentum to push it out of the rings, though. Just.
It's out, yeah. That's big that rock is out.
And reduces the risk of having to have that as a saver in a forced situation, so very big that that's off the rings. And there's Stopera. He now knows that he has to buy the team around and tidy up. Isn't that your rule, Felix? It always was for me.
We've done that at the club back when I was playing at the club. I don't anymore, but yeah, we used to do that. That or a flash. Or like a silent takeout.
Oh yeah, well, gosh, on my
Makes no
teams,
noise.
on my teams, if you were buying rounds on silent takeouts, it would have been, you would have to call the cab early.
Yeah, I mean, I played an event, I don't know how long ago, where it was sort of like a team shot every single time that we had a flash or a hog rock, but like it starts and it's fairly easy because nobody's gonna flash and nobody's gonna hawk, but you got to a point in the night where everybody started flashing and everybody started hogging rocks because it's just so yeah.
You can get it pretty
That was
ugly
just a
pretty
fun
quickly.
skill, but
Yeah. Oh, well, no fun for Ty Delello. Getting spilled off the rings, and so now it's a free shot here for Korey Dropkin. Got center guards up, and the 4 foot and the button are beckoning.
yeah, absolutely needed to stay on that last one. Just needed to force them to hit it now. It's they have a center guard. Team Dropkin's got a center guard. It's a red guard, but they can draw around this one and be shot rock at the top of the 4 foot and put pressure.
Korey Dropkin lining it up. Mark Fenner on the inside brush. Now the switch. Comfortably clear of the center guard. Now they're looking to
Looking
kind of
good.
take it as deep as they can. It's got great line. They want to bring it full 4 foot. They're going to bring it full 8. Half around. Runnable.
Good enough to force the run back.
Yep.
Buried just enough of it that they can't just chase it, so they're gonna go for the run back. You need to make this or else you're gonna get forced. But you can make it where you're sitting shot rock behind your own rock, so those can be tricky if you're throwing a draw around that guard. You've got to know that the other team can make that run back off their own rock. If it was a yellow guard, then it's a totally different story, but they can stick this one or even behind the other two rocks and they'll score 2.
So big chance here. High degree of difficult shot. Ryan Wiebe, as Felix said, possibly an opportunity to plant it behind cover as well. John Platt trying to hold line. There's the hit, there's the plant, and there it is. Perfect shot. Ryan Wiebe, that is a pistol.
Great shot. Dropped the weight a little bit to try and stick it, and that was the perfect angle. And now the decision time for Korey is you could probably play the red, yellow, red, and just blast everything out. Or you draw, and if you bury it more than you did on the previous one, you could force. You could always draw to the back 4 foot and be totally buried. So it's decision time. It depends. This is the 5th end, and there's a big decision to make because having hammer and 6 is a big deal.
Exactly. You play the double run, you pick it off, but it's an auto blank for Ryan. You take the hammer into 6 with no consequence whatsoever. But if you do decide to gamble and come around, you run the risk of dropping a pair as well. So it is a big choice. 8-end game, of course, so control of hammer in the 6 matters a lot. And they're going to play the double run by the looks of it. It's not automatic. There's a little gap between red and yellow.
I think as long as you hit the right side of that red rock, you're okay. You're always going to drive that yellow back into the red. Like you said, it is an auto blank if they do.
Korey Dropkin wants to hit it on the brush side of the red target rock. He'll be able to clip out the stone just delivered, well, raised in there actually by Ryan Wiebe. Won't be able to stick around though. There they go. Nice shot.
So now obviously they're gonna take their blank. Now I've got a nice question for you.
Go for it.
So before this end, the Ryan Wiebe had 40% chance being 1 down with 4 ends left to win the game. Now that they blanked the end, do you think those odds drop, they go higher, or they stay the same?
Gosh, that is a fantastic question. And I do not have the analytics in front of me, so I'm going to get this wrong 100%. You'd have to say, why are they kicking that stone off the back ring? I wonder.
Everybody listening can make their own line. I'll give the answer after.
They're just trying to get ahead of themselves, recognizing, just tidying up. It's going to be a blank. They're trying to sneak the stone into the rings. And a bit cheeky there from Andrew Stopera. You'd have to think their chances are better, but we'll come back to that after the end break. It is a blank, and we will head to the 6th end. Ryan Wiebe with the blank, trailing by 1. Come back to us. We're at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown from Swift Current.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like. Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
people say, you know, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
And welcome back to Swift Current at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown C qualifier. Ryan Wiebe, Manitoba. Korey Dropkin of the USA. Team Dropkin with a 3-2 lead. Team Wiebe blanking the fifth end. No consequence blank and a no hesitation blank, but Hans Fraunhoff along with Felix Asselin. Felix, just before the end of the end, you raised a very interesting question. Let's revisit that.
Yeah, so an interesting question happens when the fifth end. So what do you think would happen to the odds of, in this case, the Ryan Wiebe team, the team with hammer, now that they've blanked the end? So before that end, they had 4 ends left. By blanking it and having 3 ends left, what happened to their odds of winning? Did they increase, did they decrease, or did they stay the same?
That's a fantastic question. And so you've chosen to blank to have 2 hammers, and that's saying that you believe that in one of those 2 hammers you're going to score a multiple point end and win the game. And that's your logic for blanking. So that's the conventional wisdom logic, but I get the sense, Felix, by asking the question, you might have increased your chances, but if you have, maybe it's only fractional, because one thing that analytics has taught us in curling is being ahead on the scoreboard at any point of the game matters more than you think. So why don't you please explain what the numbers are telling us?
So like I said before, you had 40% chance of winning that game before that end started. So even before the fifth end had started, the best odds were in Korey Dropkin's chance. But by blanking this end, the Wiebe team has actually lost 2 to 3% chance of winning the game. So they did decrease their chance of winning the game. It's
very interesting.
It's a small amount, but you know, like it is to consider. Like they were better off scoring 2. Obviously, they weren't better off scoring 1. But by blanking an end, which they did keep hammer, the team that was ahead is keeping this advantage and actually increased their advantage of winning the game.
It would be really interesting to know what the numbers would tell us in that situation. If Ryan, against every bit of curling instinct that most of us have grown up with, would have chosen to score in that end. I'll bet there aren't very many reps on that because not many teams would actually do that in that situation, but it would be interesting to see what the results would be.
So like obviously, like if he wouldn't have ever done it with the situation because he could have just thrown his rock through. Let's say he was forced to take one. Say there was like five Dropkin rocks around. He needs to take one.
Yep.
His odds would go from 40% to 29.5%.
Right. So the odds would drop.
So that would be a big drop. That would be a really big drop because then we would have the hammer. Dropkin would have the hammer tied in the 6th end, which is one of, if not the most important end to have hammer in.
Exactly.
So obviously at that point he would never draw in the rings for his point, but say you were forced, you would lose a lot of your odds of winning.
Right. Well, that does make instinctive sense.
It does, yes.
Very, very interesting that in the situation there where he had the chance to blank, well, you obviously have to get your 2 somehow versus blanking to change that odds in that fractional way. But very, very interesting stuff. One thing that has really emerged in our sport over the last decade in particular competitive players like Felix and the top teams paying much more attention to those game situations and making different choices. And now with the evolution of not only the 5-rock rule, but the no-tick zone affecting choices as well, and consequently the odds around those choices, players and teams and coaches are looking at this all the time now. 3 Dropkin
Yeah, it's
stones in the ring.
been it's something that players of high level used to do unconsciously. You know, you decide when to take your pointer, when to to play aggressively or to blank. Everybody used to do that already. Now there's a little more analytics in play, and you know, shot data is starting to really become a thing. So the top teams know these odds, and they know what are their odds when entering a game and when entering an end. And you know what's the better result. They know all that stuff. So it's becoming a part of the game that we need to take a look at now, because it's important, really important. So right now, Korey Dropkin is lying 3 in the 6th end. And that guard on the left side is a corner, but it's a little high, I would argue. It's going to be hard for Ryan to put a rock behind that. That's not going to be chaseable. So not much to do for Korey, but to just keep lying 3 and try and get a force, keep the hammer for the 7th.
Hit and roll attempt by Sean Flatt. Hit maybe the tiniest sliver of a corner, but pretty accessible here for Andrew Stapera.
Maybe you need to avoid the jam. I'm not sure if that rock is a problem or not, but can't quite see where it is. Won't be a problem anyway, so nice nose hit.
Very nicely done.
The important thing on that shot was to not bury a part of that yellow rock, or else that hit and roll that Ryan is going to try would have been fully covered. But now if they even make the roll, you can run your own yellow. So that was really important to hit the nose on that last rock.
Keeps the run option alive for Team Dropkin. Tied to Lello. Trying to change the equation a little bit for Team Wiebe here. They've got the hammer, but they have not been anything like in control in this end. Noses is going to pick the one off the back. Nope, just skates it by. Team Dropkin just content to trade shots here. Ryan Wiebe in the background, looking at that corner guard and the stone behind it. What do you like in this situation, Felix?
I think it's a bit of the same scenario. You just do not want to overlap rocks. You can nose this, or you can make the roll. I think the roll could walk into an easy double. Maybe Team Wiebe would be tempted to go for it and try and get a blank out of it. So I think I would just nose this for now. Just, you know, keep your rocks separated and hope that you can keep enough of them till the end of this end so that you can get a force, which right now looks like a bit of a cheap force. But they're going to make the roll.
And they do get the inside roll, and they kind of go edge to edge. And 2 stones around the corner guard. A bit awkward to deal with.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Like, now you could draw around that top yellow rock that just rolled, and there won't be a way of running it back. So it's a bit like you created a guard by rolling overlap to another yellow rock. So stopping a foot short of that or a foot further would have been a better result for the U.S. team.
So Ryan Wiebe is going to ask Tao DeLello to try and tuck behind those overlap stones in the front rings, but he's treating them like guards. This is the opportunity for Team Wiebe to turn this end around with the hammer if they can sink one here. Pretty good looking rock. Sweeping it deep to try and promote curl, and they go to the back of the forefoot, fully hidden. And there you go, absolutely right, Felix. We're acknowledging the shot.
Can still get out of this one, but they're not going to require a freeze instead of an open hit like they had before. So they've kind of made it a little tougher on themselves.
Yep, we go from low degree of difficulty shots to high degree of difficulty shots in a heartbeat.
And that's curling too, eh? You're always trying to keep the easy shots for yourself and give the hard shots to the opponent. And very rarely does the team playing the harder shot win the game.
You're absolutely right. Back in the day for my team, my thought was always when I'm trying to set an end up, if I can force my opponent to spend 2 shots dealing with one of mine, I'm going to win most of the time.
That's right. I've been reading the comments on the stream, and people really do seem to like the winning probability thing. So if I ever see another one, I'll ask you again.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's reset that after this end and the smoke clears and reassess what the probabilities are no matter what the result, okay?
Okay.
Glad you're enjoying it, and glad that the fans online are enjoying it as well. This one is going to slide to a corner freeze and a slight bump. Is there enough room for Ryan Wiebe to squeeze that one out?
Still 2 Wiebe rocks, so you don't need to bounce it right away. You could probably just like top it 2-3 inches to sort of free it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then a hit could probably remove it. But right now, I think it's just enough buried that you might not want to make a play on it right away. Maybe you could. You probably could. If it curls in nicely, you could probably get a little low side and
think freeze and sweep.
Which still gives up the freeze to get out of jail.
So a nice come around the overlap front stones. Yeah, they are going to have a go, which is cool.
Yeah. Because he did put the broom down, but now they're rethinking about it. But he did put the broom down with something that needed to be at least a tap. You tap and roll inside, and Dropkin doesn't make a nice freeze. You get 3.
Exactly that. This is the chance to grab control.
Big moment in this game right now.
As they say in your province of Quebec, Felix, absolument.
Like the French.
Merci beaucoup.
I was hoping to get maybe Schwaller's game if they ever had one. I would have been the only one understanding.
Trying to little holding the brush. Ryan Wiebe. We think the play is a very, very gentle tap on the shot rock, hoping to get slightly across nose and push the Dropkin stone back at least a couple of inches, and maybe a couple of inches more than that, and they could be lying 2. Big moment in this game.
3 inches, they free it up. I think it's already a good result. And if they do get more weight than that and are able to lie 2, but this is holding out there. Still on the other side of the center line.
Adam Flat doing whatever he can to promote curl, but that little bit of extra weight just tracked it straight and it was right through. That was close to backline plus, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's that was too much weight for that kind of shot, for sure. You needed the minimum amount of weight to make that, to get that the most curl you could possibly get. You probably needed to get your sweeper to carve it right in there instead of the straight sweeper. But it was a really precise shot to make. Those are hard, definitely. Now a really good setup for Korey. He can force a draw to the button without any backing or anything. So he made a good enough shot on his first one to force a tough one and got the miss out of Ryan.
Now we're playing in the 6th end. We've been talking analytics, and we will talk analytics more at the start of the 7th. We will promise we will reset the situation after this end and look at probabilities. But thinking ahead now, Korey Dropkin, are you satisfied with the force at this point? Or are you thinking, take a little bit of extra risk, press harder, go for steal? Would that make a big enough difference, or are you happy enough just to lock in the force?
Obviously here, you only don't want to give up a shot for 2. So you don't want to put this in a spot where they can sort of make a double and get 2 out of it. I'm not sure there's even such a spot, but anywhere short on the center line side, anywhere short of the top button is going to be a force regardless. So you could go to the top 4 and just lie 2.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if you just went.
I think you can, yeah. If you're on the left side of that back 4 yellow, there's no way of making the double, keeping up the shooter and everything. And I think they could be going for that, to be honest. I think it's worth it.
Shot's on its way for Korey Dropkin. We're going to find out very shortly where they want to leave this stone. Fenner and Howell on the brushes. As Felix said, first thing they want to avoid is any possibility at all of leaving Ryan Wiebe shot for 2.
Ends up they just threw the guard.
Yep. So that tells us
Good
they're
shot.
happy with the force, and it is a good shot. Corner Broom taps the ice, mid 8 foot. And Ryan Wiebe will need full 4 foot to tie the game up. It'll be an important force for Team Dropkin. Give them hammer in the 7th. All tied up. And if Ryan does convert, or even if he doesn't, Felix will have a look at the analytic situation and paint a picture for us around probabilities the rest of the way. But pretty much a must make here for Ryan Wiebe.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the analytic parts, it'd be good if he made it, because it makes it a lot more interesting if he makes
No
this.
doubt.
The sweepers have been going on and off on it, so they're definitely close.
Switching now. Adam taking the inside carve part. Really working it hard. They need to get full 4, and they come up just a fraction short, so it is a steal of 1 for Korey Dropkin. Didn't seem too concerned with the weight halfway down, but they had to pound it all the way, and it comes up a couple of centimeters short, so it's a huge steal of 1 for Team Dropkin, and they lead it 4-2 as we head for the 7th end in Swift Current.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough?
Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea.
Let's talk more about next year. I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Analytics.
And welcome back as we head for the 7th end in this C qualifier game, the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Hans Frauenum along with Felix Saskatchewan. Korey Dropkin with a big steal of 1, giving him a 2-point lead in the penultimate end, the 7th end of this game.
Yeah, first steal of the game. Always nice to see a steal.
I'm sure that Ryan liked to see it very much. It was definitely potentially a decisive point in this game, and we've been talking about analytics, Felix, and let's pick that up again because we did promise our listeners that regardless of the result, we'd kind of reset and see what the perspective are. And so now Ryan 2 down, 2 to play with hammer. Analytics, so I would suspect, telling us that he probably needs a 3 in this end to have a realistic chance of winning the game. Do the numbers bear that out?
Yeah, well, obviously, Korey Dropkin is heavily in favor of the analytics right now. I mean, the analytics are favoring him to win. The only good result, or at least percentage-wise, for the Wiebe team entering the 7th end is to score 3. Even a score of 2 is going to put them tied without in the 8th end. So the only way they get over 50% chance of winning this game is if they score 3 here or more. So they really need to push to try and get as big of a score as they can here. Obviously, like, getting 2 is not the worst, but you're still not in control of this game entering the 8th end. And just for the heck of the people who do like analytics, the fun thing about analytics too is you can look at it at different levels. And what they tell us is that at this level, so say like Korey Dropkin is a slam team, so they're in the top 25 in the world, which I'm assuming Ryan Wiebe is also. When you are 2 down with in the case of Ryan Wiebe entering the 7th end, you've got an 8% chance of winning this game. But if you look at it from any other level, so like over 25th in the world, those odds actually double to 16%.
Right.
So the fact that the hitting team, in this case being Korey Dropkin, is a good team actually really reduces the odds of Ryan Wiebe to win this game, which are now at 8%. So less than 1 out of 10 games will be won by Ryan Wiebe at this point.
So that tells us how massive that steal was in the 6th end. A 2-point gap late for teams of this caliber. Very, very tough to come back and win. So it is all out to try and score 3 here somehow. The team Ryan Wiebe.
They got 2 nice corners on the same side. I tend to like the double stack corners. This is one where some teams use the two on the same side, and some other teams use 1 on each side. I think this is a bit of a preference. It might be depending on what the setup is, how many points you need and stuff like that. But I like the 2 on the same side because if there's ever a red behind that, it takes 2 rocks to get it out. You know, you need to peel the long one and then peel the short one, and then only then you can get to the back rock. The only problem that there is with the corner guards on the same side is if the other team ever sees the tight one, they'll just peel the tight one and you're left with a long guard. And we know on nice swingy ice, the long guard is useless. So you need to absolutely cover that short guard, which Ryan Wiebe did here. So there's a bit of a chance. They need 3 here. They really need to do everything in their power to score 3. And to be honest, they need to put the steal in play to have that chance. But at this point, I think they're pretty much all out.
Very nice nose freeze on the previous shot by Sean Flatt. Setting the table a little bit. And you can see Andrew Tarpera saying, well, the way these are angled and frozen, if we just keep lobbing guards up the middle. They've done the analytics and the math too. They certainly not want to drop 2, but they also know if they do, they're still in control of the game. What they're doing is defending against a 3.
2 is definitely acceptable for Korey Dropkin. And when you are the team peeling, very, very often you do give up 2. But 2 is fine here, so they're ready to accept it.
That'll explain continuing to throw center guards as opposed to peeling corners. Because the way the rocks are set up, 3 doesn't feel like it's in the brew just yet. But 2, if it happened, wouldn't be catastrophic.
I'll give you an example. At this, like I said, Ryan Wiebe has 8% chance of winning this game entering this end. If they were to score 2, so like they scored a deuce at that point, like you'd say it's a good result, their odds of winning only go up 3% to 11%.
Isn't that
so? That's a really small increase for what it would normally be considered a good result. That's just because the team of Hammer controls that last end so well, especially at that level. Again, I'm giving you the win probabilities of a top 25 team in the world. But, you know, if you're at your club play, you need to play hard in the 7th end when you're 2 down, but it's definitely more doable than at this level.
Well, that for me is the most interesting stat that you've shared, Felix, is that even in the era of a no-tick zone and a 5 rock-free guard zone rule, just an 11% chance to steal the final end to win a game. So Hammer so important in a tied situation, and even more important with the players at the top end of the sport. So that's very fascinating stuff that you're sharing with us, Felix.
It's to a point where, in a way, Ryan Wiebe could almost look at blanking this end and just keeping the Hammer again for the last end. Because if he does crack 3 on the last end, he straight out wins. And if he gets 2, he's got the same result as if he gets 2 right now.
Challenge for Ryan is going to be, how do you blank from here with a million rocks in play? Well, you don't do it by missing a double clear.
Yeah, it's 2 that he's run into that hole. So same situation for Korey, just 2 rocks later. He could just guard again, and there's no pressure on them right now. All the pressure is on Ryan Wiebe's team to find a way to get to the 3 rocks behind.
Ty DeLillo standing at the hog line, wondering about what might have been if he was able to clip that second one away, but that one's gone now. Gustav Hero will try to set the long guard, try to erase the memory that he had from earlier in the game where he hogged one.
He owes them around. Does
owe them around. Doesn't want to owe them 2 rounds. No problem this time. Comfortably over the hog line. Let's see.
Not a good feeling when you need to play a double peel when you're 2 down.
Yeah, exactly. You're feeling like you have to score 3 and you're hammering stones in the front as opposed to cozying them in around the pot. Exactly that, Felix. I completely agree.
The other thing that can happen here is they can hit the top of the second yellow and just send it into the rings, which won't happen, but which could free up that red rock that's perfectly frozen right now and could allow Korey to remove it. But anyways, he didn't touch the second yellow, so one more guard. There's nothing that Ryan Wiebe can do right now. Korey is almost playing for the steal in the game at this point.
Yeah, no downside whatsoever for Team Dropkin, just to keep lobbing short guards along the path. They've got 2 stones in the button.
Yeah, and I think the middle yellow is going nowhere.
Exactly.
But it's going to take like 2 rocks currently for Ryan to even move the 2 yellows for him to be shot rock. But there's 2 more yellows to come at the same time. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to need a pretty big shot.
Yeah, at some point.
Might even
Hail Mary off the corner run?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you can. I don't know if it's
Angles
can
aren't good.
avoid hitting the tight guard and sending it into the rings. I don't know, but we might be at this point.
Team Dropkin content to take away the most obvious path, which is up the middle. They do get the tiniest overlap on the center guard, changing the angle just enough that they can't run it straight back in. Difficult to tell from this angle if there is a pass from the red to the red. Sean Flatt's taking a look at it. He's going to ask Ryan to come out and have a look as well. Whatever Ryan's going to throw.
To illustrate my
low
point from
percentage.
earlier, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say any shot that he chooses is going to be really low percentage.
Yeah, just to quickly illustrate my point that I was saying earlier. I mean, we're talking about the best teams in the world, but I remember that at last year's Grand Slam, Nicodine, that was playing without Nicodine when he got injured, stole the extra end, I think, on Gushu, which was the first time Gushu had given up a steal tied coming down the last end, I think since something like 2003.
My.
Like it had been 20 years of high-profile events, so we're talking Briar, World, Grand Slams. We're not talking about like the first event of the year or something like played at the club, but I'm talking high-profile events. It was his first steal in the last something like 30-some or even 40-some times he was tied coming down the stretch to somebody else. So that's how hard it is to steal against a team tied coming home. That's why the Ryan Wiebe team really needed to go for 3. So they're going to make contact here at the back.
Well, he did the first job in terms of unlocking the one at the back. But as you said, Felix, he's going to need 2 stones to move the yellow to score at least 1.
It's still looking like he doesn't have much of a shot to even score.
We really need a clean miss from Korey Dropkin to have any kind of chance.
Yeah, like the analytics are pretty clear on this one. If Korey Dropkin steals, it's a 100-0.
Yeah, I would
imagine that one's pretty easy.
Yeah, Korey Dropkin steals, I think Ryan might call it a day.
I believe so. I think they would go for that drink right away.
Saying that, again, when we talk about the arrow, the 5 rock 3 guard zone, 3 down coming home, and you got the hammer. Just to see qualifier, you've slugged it away all week. You'd probably have a crack at trying to steal 3, or to score 3 rather, but the numbers don't lie, do they?
No. I think if they were 3 down without, they would probably shake at this point. Watch it, they would prove me wrong, but I think they would shake.
Yeah, 3 down without, absolutely. They would shake. 3 down with? 3 down with? Well, but it would still be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, because they can give up a steal right now and they would still play because they would have hammer.
Exactly. But it would be the steepest mountain climbs, trailing by 3 coming home.
So I think he's going to freeze that pile in the middle of that yellow and red. And I really don't know how Ryan Wiebe can score in this end. I really don't. And it's looking like it's on a good line.
Exactly. Clipping the guard would have been the only really bad thing for Korey.
Oh, did he give up a double?
Well,
did he give up a flat double for 2?
He may have.
Yeah, I think he did. Pretty sure that's a fairly natural, flattish double. Like, it only needs to get out of the 4-foot. It's definitely there.
Well, you'd like to think that throwers from Manitoba could throw it hard enough to make a flat double.
Oh, it's there. Trust me, it is there.
So Korey Dropkin just a little bit heavy, and just that little bump and that little change of the angle, giving a glimmer of hope for Ryan Wiebe.
Like they were so focused on their line that, you know, it ended up being a little heavy, and he gave up that double. At that point, they almost should have tapped it more.
Exactly. Just the angle that he's left, giving Ryan Wiebe unexpectedly a chance to score two. Here it comes.
Needs to curl. It's close.
There's one, there's two, pops it out the side door, but is it far enough? I don't think so. It looks just like a single point to me.
Yeah, it looks like a single.
Oh my goodness.
It was there. It was definitely there, though, and you just needed to be closer to the guard.
Oh my gosh. So it is only a single point for Ryan Wiebe as we head for the eighth end. We'll do the numbers again at the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Korey Dropkin leads it 4-3. They'll have the hammer coming home.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes, and you have to build your team, and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong, or if they do go wrong, that we can fix it before it affects our customer.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
Might as well give up a purposely steal.
Welcome back to Swift Current. And we've been running the numbers here. Felix Asselin, Hans Roundup here with you. C qualifier.
All the headquarters are going crazy with the numbers.
Oh, it's fantastic. We're really enjoying it. Team Dropkin with the hammer, one up. And Felix, you were telling me off air between ends. This has, we already knew that the probability of stealing an end, final end, in a tight situation, 11%. And what is the probability of having to do that twice in a row for Ryan Wiebe?
Well, I mean, when you think about it, if the chances of stealing are 11%, because he needs to steal twice, the chances of doing that is 11% of 11%. Plus the chances that he steals two right here, which all in all adds up to a jumbo, big, huge 1.2%. So it's 1 out of 100 games at this point that Ryan Wiebe will win.
So the odds very much in the favor, not surprisingly.
But now that we're talking about it, watch it.
Exactly. Could this be the time?
Yeah. Would be fun. It's fun. It would be fun if we talked about it. If you got at least the first steal and got it into the into an extra.
Exactly.
For the viewers, we would get bonus curling. So it's
That's always welcome. Center guards are up on the center line from Ryan Wiebe. So Adam Flatt did his job. Put the guards.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say this is a perfect start for the Dropkin team, meaning that they did throw one at the back button. So that's a nice rock for the Wiebe team. Well, now they're going to tap this one, try to maybe like high side tap it to try and make some sort of a pair of pants, that we call it behind. Like we're just both of them to the back button.
Right.
So it's not a perfect start for the Dropkin team. Obviously, there's still work to do for Ryan Wiebe, but they've got stuff around. If they can tap this one to the back button, Korey Dropkin only peels one of them, and they just trade peels and guards till the end, you could lob a draw in there, and there's no way of removing it. Oh, there's hope. Although that's out there.
Sweeping for curl now. Tal DeLello trying to get it to walk over as much as they possibly can, trying to get a piece of that front stone, but it goes past and it's going to go to the back. Oh, that is a disaster. Spills all the way through the rings to boot.
Yeah, and rolling out isn't good either. Because now it's a free peeled chance. There's only going to be one guard left. At least they're going to remove at least one, if not two. So the double peel can just about seal it here.
Mark Fenner with a chance to stick the dagger in. If he can make the
And
double
Mark
clear
Fenner
here.
throws the hard one, so you'll be close.
This one with a vapor trail behind it. Just going to be a single clear.
Maybe they just went for a single one for now.
That's the safe play.
Yeah. You don't want to double stick those. So I think they're going to put the guard back for a little while. At one point, they'll make a tap, like I said, to the back button, and then hopefully they'll have a freeze on their last rock to hopefully steal. But I think the 2 steal is just about away now. So now that they've missed one, they're good. They're going to do everything they can to put a rock in the middle. This rock is already close to center line for some reason. Did it pick?
Well, I just wonder after throwing that last one heavy if Sean just kind of babied that release a little bit, being mindful of not wanting to overthrow it. Maybe just started it.
Might see Korey field tight one. Yeah.
That's exactly what they're choosing to do. Andrew Stopera saying, it's probably my best chance to get the danger rock out of here.
It just looked like it was close to center line and it was barely out of his hand. So I thought maybe it picked or something.
May have.
Maybe he just sort of got it going.
No mistake by Fenner.
Yeah, now what do you do? You're just about out of guards at this point because the guard is not covering the yellows. You need the guard to be covering the yellows.
That guard over curling, reducing the options a little bit here for Ryan Wiebe. Stone is still in the back of the button, but we're going to have to find a way to maneuver stones in a way that they can actually use it. DeLello. Sometimes I wonder if Manitoba players shouldn't really just have a slider on their knee as well. It's so low in their delivery. Adam Flatt, Sean Flatt trying to bring this one cozying up against that stone of Dropkin's. 3/4 frozen across nose. We'll make it a little bit awkward. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Because if the red guard
I
ever
think
ran
the theory for Dropkin is they peel the guard, and then at one point, oh, they're gonna think about it. But the theory behind peel the guard is you peel that guard, there's no guard left, and then at one point they'll maybe make a move on the top 4 red rock that they just threw, and you hope to get an easy double, and you could win right away. But if they peel the guard, I think on his last rock, he could probably draw to the pin And with the sort of staggered on the two top 4 rocks, you could maybe find a way to not be able to remove that rock on the button. But it's a precise draw.
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering as you were saying it, Felix, that after he rips, if I'm Ryan Wiebe, I kind of go for the pin straight away, really. Because of that overlap in those stones in the front forefoot.
Yeah, it sort of serves as a guard.
Yeah, as strange as it
Really-
sounds, like a guard in the front of the forefoot, that's the way you have to think about it.
But it's just the same as earlier. They're overlap, so it's a guard. For Dropkin, in this case, it's he's the one who overlapped the other one in the, what was it, like the 5th or 6th end? But
That's right.
in this case, you know, it can work against him. Those overlap guards are your worst enemies.
You know, the run back's such a big part of our sport now, and the best antidote to a run back is an overlap stagger where you just cannot run the stone straight back. And a great look at it from the hack end now. That red-yellow combination at the front of the forefoot, acting almost as a guard. It would have to kind of walk in sideways, though, to get the pin, and so one more guard being asked for by Ryan Wiebe.
Yeah, I agree with this. I think you need one more guard. You need to see your opponent peel more rocks before, you know, it's too early to make a move. They'll have too many doubles to come. So you put another guard, maybe even another one.
Save it for his
Depending on
last
what-
as opposed
yeah.
to his second last.
Yeah. The only thing is, let's say red throws a guard, yellow peels. Red throws another guard. Maybe yellow just leaves the guard there and blocks the draw, and then you have you've got no way of putting yourself shot.
Nicely set guard there by Ty DeLillo.
So they'll definitely peel at least once more. Wondering if Wiebe will guard.
Well, that's the decision point for me. Does he go on his first shot, or does he save it for the last shot? Andrew Stopera
I think
vaporizes
they're
the
gonna
guard.
go for it now. I would agree to that. I agree they need to go now.
If you can wedge it in there now.
I think there is a spot where you can't remove that red rock.
Yeah, it's you really have to squeak
Throws into the-
everything and get a little bit of late finish, but if you can wedge one
Yeah.
in there, it's going to be pretty hard to remove.
Like, even if you put it edge to edge with your top red,
Mm-hmm.
like, how do they even remove it? Like, they need to smash it into their back yellow and have everything roll out, and then you could probably hit the top red and light two, and then have them face two.
You can look at lose. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's not too bad with the fact he's got an overlap. If they were on a straight line, it'd be really tough to steal this, but they've got a bit of a guard, so.
Precision everything. It's in the hands of Adam Flatt, judging the weight and now the switch.
It's close.
Very
close.
That
Just
is
like
as
that.
good as you can throw it. That is absolutely as good as you can throw that. Terrific shot by Ryan Wiebe.
Absolutely no way, I think, of removing it. Maybe with the drag it touches it. Maybe he actually curled it too much.
He threw it too good.
Yeah.
Terrific shot, though. Boy, oh boy, credit to Ryan Wiebe. What a terrific shot under pressure, trying to save the game here. C qualifier, taking advantage of that tiny little overlap. He's wedged one in there into shot position. Three-quarter corner frozen against the catcher in the back. That is a quality curling shot, especially in that situation.
Pretty impressive with the fact that they had missed that first tap and rolled out. So that got them to lose a guard. Like, you needed all those guards to steal, but
They've done that
they've
with
made
7
the
rocks.
best of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Terrific shot. You can appreciate the importance of that little overlap on that guard, little tap by Ty DeLillo. That has created this whole situation. Just the fact that that red stone just in front of the forefoot, just slightly overcurled, slightly touched, but that was deliberate to create that little overlap and take the angle red-yellow away from the button. That's created this opportunity, and it's been converted by Ryan Wiebe. Going to make it very difficult for Korey Dropkin, even with drag.
I think they're trying to splash that yellow into the red that he just threw. Well, they're just trying to miss that top red.
Okay, hit what he can see of the
Yeah,
yellow.
you need to hit it as much as you can see, really, because I don't know that you can or not, but like, you don't want to slice this over the top because you could be shooting against 3.
And you sure don't want to flash.
He's close.
Oh, terrific shot by Dropkin. Korey Dropkin, terrific stone. Back-to-back pistols by the skips in this one. Great shot.
So where do you put this? You could guard, which then they're drawing only against 1. Well, they can't lose. You could tap it on the nose to like T-line, which forces them to play the double. Or you could draw it to the side of the forefoot and sort of have 2 rocks that are even so that you can't hit any of them on the nose. I think those are your options. Or draw, or straight draw behind it.
Yeah, to use the words of the late great Don Gugood, there's at least 2 schools of thought on this one, and probably 3 schools of thought. One school of thought says you can make your target area as narrow as you possibly can, line them up, and if you're going to get a miss, then you win. Another school of thought says, yeah, put it on the tee line, into the forefoot, make it so anywhere he noses is going to get you to an extra end and make him draw. It all depends around what do you think is going to be the toughest shot for Korey.
The thing to consider, I think, in this case is you got the chance of drawing around it, which is obviously always going to force them to play the double. And the double will always be at the most the steal of 1. Whereas if you go to the side of the forefoot, like you're tapping right now, if you go right there, and you ever get them to think that because they can't nose any of them, they pick to draw instead.
Exactly.
If they do draw, the 2 steals in play.
Yep.
So
you're playing for a miss anyways.
Because there's maybe a bigger chance of stealing if you go around, but it's never going to be a steal of 2. Whereas if you draw to the side, you could steal 2 if they pick to draw, which I guess with the broom there, they're going around it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thought process there because we've talked about how difficult it is to steal an end, never mind do it twice. And so if you're going to get 1 miss to steal an end, maybe you make that miss something where you steal the 2 as opposed to stealing the 1, and in that case, you need
the problem with curling is that there's never been 2 exact same curling ends, so we only have analytics entering an end. We don't have analytics like shot per shot for like leads, rocks, and stuff like that, because as center guard, there's so many center guards possible. It could be a long center guard, tight center guard, and stuff like that. So it's really hard to know you're in and whether you're actually odds. Well, here they are drawing around that top 4 rock. He just did it, so you gotta expect them to be close. And I think you want to go like back button. Need some separation, but this is curling.
Yeah, it's curling. It's going to be awfully close to that front stone. They have to sweep it past it. Now they come off. He's passed. Now they're getting separation. So Ryan Wiebe has done his job.
You could draw, but they're going to hit. They're going to take the 2 steal out of the equation.
2 beauties from Ryan Wiebe. He's got the maximum separation he could realistically get in this situation. So Korey's playing the hit. There's 4 feet of air between those stones.
And nose isn't good either.
Nose and he plants. We're going to an extra end.
He'll be close. He'll be really close, and it'll have enough heat that anything else than perfectly on the nose, it'll roll away for him.
Korey Dropkin with the hammer here in 8. Needs to make a double takeout to put the game away and qualify here in Swift Current. It's on its way.
Kind of got it going a bit.
1-2, and there it is. Korey Dropkin with a double takeout for the win. Wow.
We fell into that 99%.
So congratulations to Team Korey Dropkin. They will advance into the qualification quarterfinal phase, and condolences to Team Ryan Wiebe. They competed really well. Fantastic game, very, very entertaining. Korey Dropkin prevailing by a final score of 6-3. Any final thoughts, Felix, before we wrap it up?
No, it was a fun game. I hope everybody enjoyed going into the analytics and stuff, and I hope you had a good evening, or for you, it's actually almost a good morning back in New Zealand. But good luck to the Dropkin team entering the playoffs. They've had a long day today, but they can look forward to tomorrow because they're curling in the quarterfinals. And good luck to everybody, all the women's and men's teams that are still playing.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, Felix, and Hans Rauloff for Felix Asselin. Korey Dropkin advances and qualifies. Thank you very much. That will do it for us from the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown in Swift Current. Join us again for the late draw tonight and the playoffs tomorrow. So long from Swift Current.
We feed the world with Nutrien, and a large portion of what our job is to get fertilizer out with the carriers so they can get directed to the farms or to the different retail locations. We know that if we don't have the answer to something, we're not afraid to reach out because we have support from everyone. We've got a really good team behind us.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.